What's up, Carla?
What's up, Chris? How are you?
I'm good.
It's so weird that we're in person, right? We only have one screen to work with.
We're side by side,
Yes,
which
we are.
we're not always.
Yeah.
But where are we?
Right now, we're in Harlem. We are in New York City at our Leadership Summit. It is our final day of our Leadership Summit. Folks are right now in workshops. And then right after this, we're going into advisory as like our final advisory before closing off our summit.
There was a kind of a happy coincidence or happy problem that I think happened with the conference, which is because the day the conference started was when this like huge storm moved through the East Coast.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I think a good chunk of our attendees couldn't make it, which
Yeah.
kind of made for like almost like a super intimate, like, let's get down and have some conversations kind of feel. So
Yeah, I definitely felt that. But also like the hotel that we're at, it's such an intimate space as well.
yeah,
It feels very communal, like a family. It's easier, I think, to get to know your advisees in a way because it's like I like smaller, more intimate groups. But yeah,
it's interesting you mentioned advisees because you and Eunice Mitchell, our colleague,
Yes.
had a special advisory.
Yes. We were called a leadership collective, and so throughout this leadership summit, we majority of the conference attendees went to schools. They got to see and be with young people, hear about either their school structure, their programs, what kids are doing, students and young people are doing day to day. Our leadership collective really honed in on the leader, and so we stayed. It was like half the time was at the hotel, but we were doing really intimate workshops, getting to know our own leadership, really talking about reflection, and what it means to be leaders. And then we had our second day out in the community, and so we went out into the city. Really used the city as a classroom. I keep saying that, but it's so true. But we really wanted I think what's special about the work that we do in Leadership Soul at Big Picture Learning is that it's really not just about like the practical skills, right? It's not about like numbers and data and how do we get you to be a leader that can do these, X, Y, and Z. And this is it, but it's more of like that internal self work, and inner self work that often is invisible, but it's that work that then goes and impacts the decision you make, the values you hold, which then impact the adults that you work with, and then in turn the young people that you support. Sorry, I'm over here giving my whole speech.
It's all right. It's all right. But it's funny because I heard you chuckle a little bit when you say like the city's classroom, because I think people may think it's a catchphrase, right? But
Yeah.
talking to our friend Alan Cheng, who's a superintendent of schools here in New York, also equity fellow. Alan, I think you know this, but Alan, before he joined the New York City Department of Education, he was the principal for a school in New York called City as a Classroom. That's the name of the school. And I think there is really something about the New York public school system that's like, let's find young people's interest. Either we're going to have specialized schools for like drama and the arts or tech and what have you. And then you have schools like Allen's that are like, we're actually going to treat the city as a classroom because we have museums, we have the subway system. Like you have to sort of learn on the fly in New York, whether you're in a school or not. So this idea that a city is a classroom, it's definitely a cool slogan for our conference, but it's a reality. I think not only in New York, but probably in a lot of places.
Yes. Well, that, and also if you know our network, if you know our organization, right, Leaving to Learns are essential to kind of what we do. We went to the same museum. Obviously, we were together yesterday for part of the time, and we went to the Museum of City of New York. And while we were there, we're looking at some of the artwork, but the exhibits, and the guiding question was like, what, find something that stands out to you, whether it's a piece, a photograph, something, right? For me, what really stood out, there were school tours, right? Would you say there were groups of young people there?
That's right.
Yeah. I think watching them learn, and just the way that they were either interacting with, I don't know if it was their teacher or a tour guide, but the way that they were just like learning about dance or learning about different movements that occurred of like activism. I wanted to follow the tour just because I was like, I forgot. But they were just so curious. And I was like, this is them out in their community learning about topics that are often not taught in classrooms anyway. Yeah, it made me miss the classroom, but it also made me miss being a student, and going on field trips.
Yeah, and the students like went out whether it was like 2 degrees or
exactly.
It's very cold here in New York right now. Let's talk about last night.
Okay, yes.
So we gave away a few awards. We had a celebratory dinner. Was there a moment from last night that you found particularly impactful?
Okay, I'll say one because you may say
I can
don't
think
know.
of two, so whichever one you
I
pick.
can think of two as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so and maybe it aligns to the work that I do, but one of the awards that was awarded was the Torchbearer Award.
Yes.
It was awarded to Claire Sylvan, founder of the International's Network for Public Schools, co-founder of the Deeper Learning Equity Fellowship, which is where I do a lot of my work in this org. And she couldn't make it. Really sad we missed you, Claire. But she did pass along her remarks. And so someone kind of gave the remarks. It was just talking about doing the work, resistance, about fear, but it's scary now, but it's essential to kind of push through that fear, but also have that courage. It's about, even though times are tough, right? There can be moments of like stillness and clarity that is needed to do the work. I mean, I wish she was there to give it herself, but I think that for me really stood out. Knowing Claire, first of all, Claire's like 4'11", probably even smaller, right? But the presence that she had in the room while not being in the room was incredible. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Well, so I'll say that. So someone spoke on Claire's behalf and was reading her remarks from his phone. Mm-hmm. And those of us who know Claire could hear her voice coming through his mouth. So definitely miss Claire. You probably never see this video, but whatever. It's out in the world.
I'm a senator.
So that was definitely one of my two. The other thing I would mention is like the performance by Stephanie Pacheco, our poet. I was sitting relatively close to her, and I like to go to a lot of like Broadway shows, and like halfway through each show, I'm just reminded that there's a live performer on stage that's actually singing live. And I felt that yesterday with like Stephanie, like her words and like the patter, for a brief moment while she was reciting her poem. Yeah, it feels very strange to say this. I was like, she's doing this right now, right?
Yeah. I see that.
It wasn't recorded. She wasn't reading from notes.
Yep.
Like she has her stuff in it. Like the mix between humor, what it's like to grow up in the Bronx, and then all of a sudden she'd be like, but it's also this. Kind of like puts us back on our heels a little bit.
Yes.
Thought it was great.
An incredible performance. I was blown away by it. I was like tearing up. Even though I'm not from New York, I think that there were still some themes that are applicable to anyone, anywhere. I love that. So those were my two as well.
Let's go ahead and shout out the other one. So Ebony Clark was our school leader of the year. She is school leader at the Newburgh Free Academy West. It's actually, if you go to our YouTube page, there is a short video about that school. It's like get to know a student, but it's really telling the story of Newburgh Free. And then Jaden Torres is our student leader of the year. Goes to Fannie Lou Hamer, Freedom High School. Both terrific, and proud to have honored them.
Yeah.
I don't know if prize is the right word, but like honored to have honored them.
Yeah.
I
think it's always nice and important to have, when we have our communities together, to acknowledge, honor, celebrate folks who are doing incredible work. And I'm glad that we can do that in our spaces. And I look forward to our next conference where we can give other awards.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. What's our next conference?
Okay. Well, for us, our next big conference is Big Bang. Held in Dallas, Texas this year. I forget, I'm like, well, what year, what month are we on? It's going to be at end of July. I actually don't know the date.
I think it's 22 through 25, but BPLevents.org.
Yes, exactly. BPLevents.org. So we're really excited to be in Texas. Katrina Martinez, one of our co-workers and colleagues, doing incredible work there, but really happy that she's been such a gracious host to us, because that's the pride that she has for Dallas specifically is strong, and you'll be able to feel it when you come to Big Bang. So I know that Leadership Summit is over. However, if you want to join us for Big Bang, please go to bplevents.org and check it out, because registration is opening up.
Registration will open on March 1st. If you're watching this video anytime before February 13th, we also have our request for workshop proposals open. So if you'd like to not only attend, but have your voice featured at Big Bang, and more importantly, have the voices of the young people that you work with featured, also go to bplevents.org, and there's a page devoted to filling out like a very quick interest form, like I want to present, and then we'll help you build out a more robust presentation and proposal.
Yeah. What else? So obviously Chris and I when we are together, it's either at conferences and or at our leadership journeys. And so we're super excited. We have 2 exciting leadership journeys coming up. If you're going to be in Austin on March 11th, join us Wednesday, March 11th at Antone's. More information to come, but we're hosting leadership journeys at South by Southwest EDU
for the 5th year.
For the 5th, fifth year, March 11th. And then I don't know it off the top of my head. April.
Yes, April.
Somewhere in April.
I also don't remember the date, but
we're going to be at ASU GSV in San Diego. So if you're going to either of those conferences, hit Chris and or I up and or Los. Let us know you're going to be there, and we'd love to see you at Leadership Journeys.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we've gotten through this call with relative joy and energy.
Yes.
We're faking it a little bit because when we get to the end of these conferences, we're kind of operating on fumes. But it's been a great conference.
It has been.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm happy to join the team and be here. And I love New York, and the work that they're doing. It's incredible. Thank you all for watching. We hope that you make it a great day or not, because that choice is yours. See you later.
Peace.